1,000 miles from peace talks, Kabul is haunted by despair and death, by a campaign of assassinations, by violence aimed at stealing Afghanistan's future, like this attack on Kabul University that killed dozens of students, including Ali. His father shows a reporter his son's diplomas.
I cannot see any benefits brought by the foreign troops. Every day there are suicide attacks, explosions, kidnappings, and robberies.
The country's on edge. Last December, residents in eastern Afghanistan ran after a roadside bomb explosion. The violence is unrelenting. The U.S. military says attacks are up over last year. Shradufin Azmi is a psychologist.
Many of our loved ones, the youth, women, men, and children, are terrified. They feel they might die any time.
Last February, there was some cautious hope. The Taliban and U.S. agreed to fully withdraw American troops by May the 1st if the Taliban prevented al-Qaeda from harboring in Afghanistan and discussed a ceasefire with the Afghan government. But today, those talks are stalled, and instead, Taliban leaders are on a diplomatic blitz, including a visit to Tehran. The Biden administration acknowledges the Taliban have not attacked U.S. troops, but says the Taliban have not broken with al-Qaeda. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby.
As long as they're not meeting their commitments, it's going to be difficult for anybody at that negotiating table to meet their commitments. In fact, it wouldn't be the wise course. It is under discussion with our partners and allies to make the best decisions going forward.
This is a new opportunity and a new approach to more fully align our messages and our practices and our policies.
Nancy Lindbergh is the former president and CEO of the United States Institute of Peace. I spoke to her, New Hampshire Senator Kelly Ayotte, and former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Joe Dunford, about their new bipartisan report that recommended abandoning the May 1st exit deadline, withdrawing only as conditions improve, and renewing diplomacy with the region and the Taliban.
As a part of our regional diplomacy, being very clear of our commitment to the peace process as envisioned with the conditions, and our long-term commitment to both the state of Afghanistan, but also very importantly to the people of Afghanistan.
The report also calls to reinforce U.S. conditions on all parties, including the fragile and factionalized Afghan government.
It's important to support the Afghan government, but also that we were going to have conditionality in terms of their importance of them rooting out corruption and the things that they need to do to govern properly for Afghanistan, as well as conditionality for the Taliban in terms of their behavior in reducing violence.
Dunford was Joint Chiefs chairman until 2019.